Thanks for visiting the patients and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stresses for May 10th, 2026. We keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We maintain a storefront on Amazon called Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for Sunday, we have high pressure pushing down the Great Lakes and really covering almost all of the heartland from literally the Rockies to the Ohio Valley. However, there is an active cold front stretching all the way from Bangor through Annapolis, back down through central Tennessee, all the way back through Austin, and really all the way back to El Paso and the southern portions of Texas. Lots of unsettled weather ahead and along that front, and especially along the Gulf. And we can see here will be a lot of instability right with this little bubble low. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of the individual weather elements that may cause some difficulty for humans, and we have that little bit of activity always going on in the state of Oregon. We have a little spotty activity going on here in the northern Rockies, but a significant area of unsettled weather through the high plains and southern plains from Texas to Kansas, and then swinging all the way up the Mississippi Valley and really covering across the Great Lakes. Looking at the change in pressure, we have rising pressure through the heartland again, all the way from New Mexico into eastern Colorado, Texas on up to Nebraska, and from Arkansas all the way up through Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and extending into upstate New York across Pennsylvania. And notice we're taking in the Canadian cities between Windsor and all the way to Toronto. Looking at the changes in temperature, and again a little bit of interest here with cold weather settling back down in the central to southern plains, and especially some cold right here through the Texas Panhandle and the Oklahoma Panhandle, and along with winds, that could be one little chilly area. We have rising temperatures up here in the northern plains, Wyoming and Montana, and a little bit of a bubble rise here in Nevada and up into southern Idaho. Looking at the change in dew point and moisture, you can see that we do have a rise in dew point temperatures and moisture here in the western portions of Texas, the Texas Panhandle. Cool or falling dew point temperatures here across the central plains up to the Great Lakes. Back to instability in those summer showers and thunder showers, and you can see that we're looking for that surge in activity again where that frontal system is hanging, and that extends across Texas into Louisiana and probably bubbling on up into Arkansas. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, a pretty typical pattern, but we do have a risk of migraine still in Northern California, Western Oregon, Western Washington, and significant here across Vancouver. We do have a significant risk for migraine stresses here in eastern New Mexico, eastern Colorado, very sharp here through northwestern Texas and northern Texas, on up across Oklahoma and Kansas, into Arkansas and Missouri, and stretching on up through Illinois, Indiana, all the way through Ohio, Pennsylvania, and upstate New York, and taking in most of the Great Lakes area. And once again, we're talking about those Canadian cities from Windsor to Toronto. We're looking at asthma and arthritis now, and we have that risk, especially across Wyoming and Montana, and a touch here in southern Idaho, and then another risk of asthma and arthritis in the southeast from Louisiana's toe all the way across southern Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia, picking up some here in northern Florida and western Florida, and then we're picking up a small little area of asthma and arthritis risk again across New Hampshire and Maine. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.